Every year at this time, we offer
born over 3 months premature.
Welcome back. Well, every so often I go to the neighborhood video store to find some videos for my 3.5-year-old. And it's a wild experience. Where do you start? Things aren't laid out by age group or subject matter, unless, of course, you're lucky enough to be near the original Kids Video Store in Toronto. Hi, Fiona.
Hi.
Fiona Zippen is one of the 2 owners of the store. Now, you've got this organized in such a way that it's going to be a lot easier for a parent to walk in.
Well, I did this because I, as a parent, had exactly the same problems, and I didn't know where to find anything or how to go about any of this. And you know, we tried a few things, and we came up with some very interesting solutions.
I'd love to be able to rely on someone like you because I can't see all this stuff.
No, of course not.
And preview it.
Nobody can.
But you have almost.
Oh, just about, yeah.
Now, for young kids, what have you discovered?
Well, the thing is that when your child is young, you just assume, because when we were young we saw cartoons, that this is what your child is going to like. But in actual fact, that's not really so. Kids under 4 really much prefer live action things. They like to see other children, and they like singing and dancing and lots of moving around.
This
things that are fast action. Yeah, both of these things are in series, so you don't get stuck watching the same one over and over. It's a half an hour of songs and dances, and this is the same kind of thing. And this one, the Charlotte Diamond's a Canadian performer. Excellent, same sort of you know, singing. And this they much prefer to cartoons. They don't get into cartoons until they're about 5 or 6, and then they get into things like half-hour Winnie the Poohs. And that's probably because they know the stories. They know the characters already. That gives them a sort of head start. But they don't really sit down and watch a whole feature-length cartoon like a Disney cartoon until they're about 5. 4 or 5.
Now, do you find that different kids see different levels of things? I mean, if you sit down with them as a parent to watch, they're going to respond to the characters more, if you pointed out, or to the different ages, or you know.
Well, all kids are different, first of all, and you know, you might have a child with a very good attention span. You might have one with attention span that's not so great. So you really do want to to try and draw your child somehow into the film. But
the reason I ask is I say to myself, I remember that when I was a kid. I saw that.
Right.
I'll bring it home. Pete will love it.
But there's a very interesting phenomena, you know, happening here. As we remember. We have a funny kind of memory. Years later, we remember things like Sleeping Beauty and how wonderful it was, and
Bambi.
You know, and Bambi. And what we forget are really all the things that just terrified us, absolutely terrified us. And
Bambi's mother died.
Bambi's mother dies. I mean, this caused major trauma for years. Dumbo, and in Dumbo, the mother separated from Dumbo, and it took me years until I realized that they actually get reconciled at the end. But as a child, it was so traumatic for me that I didn't even realize they got back together at the end. And you know, the witches, you know, things. Every single one of Disney's features has really scary elements in them. You have to, you know, watch out for those.
But his real features, with the little fuzzy furry animals that you follow through the forest, they tend to be less traumatic.
You mean the short compilations of,
or the story of Frank the dog, who, you know, and somehow they build a storyline and you actually see Frank. It's not an animation. Do kids respond to those more?
The live action things? Well, actually, some of the Disney live action ones still work very well. Things like The Parent Trap and Swiss Family Robinson. I mean, they were good enough films that they still stand the test of time. And the kids, they get to be 7, 8, 9, really do enjoy those kind of films.
Now, 7, 8, 9, we're just about to step into the preteen market, the scariest market of all, probably, because kids, it's a real peer pressure time.
Sure.
Have you seen Texas Chainsaw, Morning of Eden, of whatever? How do you give them? I mean, are there things out there that they can watch?
Sure, there are.
Okay.
Sure, there are, and actually, there are things that they prefer to watch. I think that they're only watching this stuff because they think they should. But really, if you left it to them, they're quite happy with things. The reason that, in one way that our store works, is that they're not exposed to all the other stuff that they think they should see. So here's the kind of stuff that really would interest them, and they do like it.
Would you recommend?
Goonies.
Goonies.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg film. Really, it's exciting without being really scary. And then, you know, once they've seen that, they can go into something like this, George's Island. Excellent film. A Canadian film, same sort of thing. Shipwrecked, same sort of idea. And, you know, if your child says, well, you know, George's Island was okay, but it wasn't really as good as the Goonies, which is, you know, sure, it's as good as the Goonies, but it's different. And, you know, it's good to start them into a conversation about why they didn't think it was as good. I mean, kids love films, and they really love the whole film thing, and they love to talk about films, too. I
can't go into your store. You're a long way away.
Right.
So I pick up the cover of the thing, and I read phrases like family, fun,
heartwarming.
Heartwarming. What does that mean generally?
Heartwarming is my favorite when people see this and think, heartwarming, that must be good. And in actual fact, heartwarming probably means that there's some death in it. Somewhere the dog died, the horse died, dad died, something like that. And so you have to be, you know, don't take any of these things as in face value. Coming of age is the other one. Just steer clear of anything that says coming of age. If you've got a 10, 11-year-old, it usually means the first sexual encounter.
Right.
So you have to be careful of that kind of thing.
Fun for the whole family?
Fun for the whole family.
A hodgepodge of...
Yeah, that means that there's something for dad in there too, and is the how, you know, what do they mean by the family down to how, you know, how young?
One of the best things I've seen go around a community in Winnipeg, people were trading lists among families. Very good, almost like book lists.
Yeah.
A recommended thing to do.
It's an excellent idea, just to ask your family to sit down and write down their favorite 10 films, and even of their favorite films from what age. Ask the children what their, you know, when your 12-year-old was 6, what was his favorite movie, and then ask your friends to do that too, and also to make a list of their least favorite films, or films that they think that they're sorry that they saw, or that they wish they hadn't seen.
Speaking of lists,
and exchange those.
We have a list. People can write in. Here's what to do: send a stamped, self-addressed envelope to What on Earth, show number 91032, 2345 Smith Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, S4P2P7. And send that stamped self-addressed envelope. Tell us you're interested in the movie list, the video list, and we'll get that out to you as quickly as we possibly can. Coming up on tomorrow's show, Jan Eyre and Barb Cram, nutrition for women and legal advice. I'll see you then. I'm Bruce Steele. Bye-bye.
What on earth is it all about? As the world gets smaller, there ain't no doubt. There's so much information, that's no exaggeration. What on earth makes the world go around? The answers, they are all around us. What you're looking for can be found at your front door. What's on earth?